why are we here today? What is really the reasons that we're sitting here? Now, probably because we all expect something is happening. We don't know when, we don't know what, and that's why we're listening here to each other's opinions. But for publishers, what is this really about? Is this about RTB? Is this about data? Is this about automation taking over the human role in media trading? And well, we believe for publishers and media, for sales houses, this is really about one thing. What if change happens? Who will own the advertiser and the agency relationship in a couple of years' time? And today, this is not so much of a topic because it's tiny. Most of our revenue is coming in through paper IOs, scanned IOs, over the phone, through email. And how will that evolve over time? And if we look at the German market, always dangerous to go with numbers in Germany, but so we took the numbers from the Mediatage in Munich. They were presented by Tomorrow Focus. And then you see that if you look at 3.6 billion revenue in the German market, 2/3 is from search. Now, you see that most of the euros are flowing into the search area. Then let us move to display. And the a bit painful part there is that huge amount of the display is not really this classic premium rate card sales that we love so much. So what is driving display advertising today? And there's numbers out there that display is outgrowing in 2011 search. Lovely, but where is this growth? Because if there's a train driving fast, we want to be on it. And if we are today with our rate card sales, manual deal making, if we are on the right track, perfect, we stay there. But what if things change? And that's really what's most interesting to us. So where is the growth in display today coming from? And what we see across Europe, also United States, globally, and also in Germany, there's Google, there's Facebook. There is the retargeting players that have a lot of traction. There is a trading desk, performance. I hear more and more from publishers. Yes, we're growing premium sales, but our brand advertisers asking for the click all the time. And the question really is, where is this going, and how are we handling that? Should we do nothing, or what to do? So we see a couple of trends. Now, data is fueling the ad ecosystem. All these things, RTB, retargeting networks, they're all fueled by data. And the beauty of data is you can increase the relevance even without enough content to estimate who's your audience. We see also that there is a pressure on premium. Even if the premium dollars still flow in, or the premium euros, there is more demand for it. How is it performing? Can we combine it with a click deal? Can we get more for less? And advertisers are seeking the most efficient way to spend their money. We also see, because so far life has been easy for a sales house. If you don't want to do performance, it's easy. You don't offer it, and maybe you don't even work with ad networks, so you keep everything out of the door. And also on data, and then the fear of data leakage. It was relatively easy. You say, well, I don't work with networks, I don't do performance, that's none of my business. But the agencies are now investing because they look at the market space one day and say, oh my God, there's a whole middle crowd of players, and it's not us. That's not good. So the agencies heavily invest in their trading desk and also want to be owners of that side of the business. So today, if you are a sales house or publisher, you're naturally connected to this new world, even if you don't decide it yourself. What we do see is we see publishers saying, oh, no, we don't do RTB. We work with, we give it to X, Y, Z, and they give us a fixed fee for that. Well, practically, if you look back, many of us are working with RTB, even if we don't know it. It's out there, and things are being traded. I think the biggest and most challenging change is that Google and Facebook are now after the branding budgets. They were always in the safe corner. in their performance field, where they were specialists, they were dominating the market, but they want more. And that's natural. They want to grow their businesses. If you have 100% almost of the search market, what's next? So they're after the branding dollars, and they have loads and loads and loads of data to do so. So there will be budgets flowing to these players in the market. And the topic that I really think is absolutely strategic for sales houses and publishers is the ownership of the advertiser and the agency relationship. And that was very clear, because with a paper rate card, you have that relationship. It's yours. You have the contract, you send the invoice. It's your business. But when it comes to audience sales and programmatic buying, that's not always the case. Because if you work with a third-party exchange, who's sending the invoice? Not you anymore. And if that is 5% of your revenue, that's fine. But what if, in 5 years' time, half of the budgets are being spent through programmatic buying? What then? And even if you are a publisher, you might say today, I don't want to move there. Let it go away, please. I don't like it. But you're not the only one deciding. And I think also in Germany, but in other markets as well, as soon as the budgets and the advertisers start to spend more and more through platforms, because these are basically booking tools, you got to deal with it. And the question is then how? And how do you do that in such a way that you keep in the driver's seat? And that's basically where you want to be. Otherwise, you become subject to third parties. And we don't know how long it takes. It might take 2 years, it might take 5 years, but if we know that buying a campaign online is, I think, 10 or 15 times more expensive than a television campaign, you can assume that the buy side and the agencies are seeking other ways to make their bookings. And I was checking some videos online. It was from the Mexico, and there was one big trading desk CEO interviewed. And I think in a video of 1 minute and a half, he mentioned 9 times the word audience. Audience, audience, audience. We're buying audience. But yeah, what do you do with that? And it's easy for me to say, don't fear, stay in the driver's seat, but maybe you want to know how and how that's possible. And we believe that there is one sweet spot for publishers and for sales houses. I consider that one group right now in my speech. And that is the crossover between data and audience buying and quality content. Because if you are an Audi campaign, and by the way, Audi might have a trading desk one day. There is KPN in the Netherlands opening up a trading desk, Procter & Gamble a trading desk, Unilever is building a trading desk in the US. So you can only wait for advertisers to also wanting to have this booking tool. And then there's one sweet spot if you are an Audi retargeting campaign or an Audi branding campaign fueled by data. You don't want to run on just any long-tail website because you have a brand value that you want to connect to quality content. And this is really the sweet spot for future brand growth for publishers and media houses. You have relevance driven by data. You have content, Umfeld, driven by your content. And you have the relationship with your key advertisers and with your agencies. And this is absolutely a spot that you can own and dominate on the longer term, unless you give it away. And we recommend not to do that, unless you have other, there can always be a reason, but it is an interesting growing area. And so, is this about RTB? Well, RTB is just now one piece of the change that we are seeing. This is really about data combined with automation. Data drives relevance. Automation drives the scale of it. Because the more you target, the more difficult it is to find a big audience. If you try to find an Audi driver with a dog, how many can you find? You want to scale it, and that's therefore the automation and the interconnectivity between the platform is needed. And yeah, you can only wait till more budget flows there because it's attractive. So what can you do as a sales house or a publisher to bring this relationship closer to yourself and to own the new channel. And well, the first thing you have to do is you have to get your data strategy right. So you might have data of yourself. If you are, well, most publishers do have some valuable data. What do you do with it today? How have you organized it? Try data management platforms. You need to rework your data, you need to analyze your data, you need to get data specialists on board if you don't have them yet. And by the way, this is not about advertising. Data will fuel advertising and e-commerce and maybe your content. Because if you have a great data strategy, then you can drive the value of more than just advertising. So we see data as a really one topic on itself. Second thing you need, imagine that agencies are going to spend 30% of the budget through platforms. You want to trade with them. You want to make your direct deal with a success, with another player. You want to be able to execute that on your terms, on your conditions. So you need a technology. Otherwise, you're back to manual trading. And yeah, it's very pity, but a system, a booking tool, doesn't generally talk to a phone or an email box. You need a platform to communicate. If you don't get your own platform, you have to depend on somebody else's platform. And there are neutral platforms, but most platforms, they do the billing and it's out of your hands. The third piece, and maybe even more challenging, is get the right people on board. Typically in media, when I went to high school, if you were not good at mathematics, you chose a more soft study, communication. And which is absolutely, those values are still necessary. And marketing communication has not changed in its core, but the execution, you need now also people on board, analytical, that know how to real-time monetize your content, but also your audience. So you got to build on your own team, your own trading specialist, your own data specialist. And start building that today. Today it's small, true. Your big euro amounts are coming from another business. But what's growing? And we sincerely believe that data combined with the right content will attract the branding euros going forward. Fourth piece is product differentiation. So what we call today premium, and that's maybe something that I challenge the audience a bit with, but that's actually better called manual. And the fact that we trade it manually, is it therefore premium? We have to redefine these terminologies. And premium could just as well be coming over a platform. Especially a data-driven brand campaign can absolutely outperform a manually booked brand campaign in the content environment. And if you combine them, you have 1 and 1 is 3 or 4. But start today and don't wait till others take over and taking the budget out from the market. Now, the fifth piece, and that is, even if there's all the technology in the world, there's always people. And I don't know any business where people are no longer involved. And if they get too far out and let the algorithms take over, yeah, that can be dangerous, like the stock market example earlier mentioned. But if you look at the travel industry, for example, there are still travel agents. If you go with your company to a special event, there's travel agents. If you want to do a special trip that's very customized, there is a travel agent. And so there will also be premium sales teams, or let it call special concept sales teams for anything that cannot be automated. But use the technology when it's there. But you can only drive up and keep up the prices the way you like it if you participate in the game. So don't fear it. Own it, build your relationship with the trading desk, and make sure that this is another channel that you are riding on and that you will benefit from on the longer term. So, yeah, it's up to you, and thank you.